Hey everyone, Stacy Baker here. Welcome to my channel, Go Where You Grow. Today I wanted to talk to those of you who are considering the ketogenic diet, or really any new way of eating for that matter. And first I'll start off by telling you a little bit about my journey and where I started. So the reason that I started the ketogenic diet is because at the time I was struggling. I had just had my second baby and I was struggling with postpartum depression, and I was looking for ways to help myself. And I decided at the time that one of the best ways to help myself was to lose some weight, to get healthy so that I felt better. I wasn't upset with my appearance anymore, all of that. So at the time, I began to research what diet I was going to do. And I had one good friend that had just finished a Whole30 challenge and had really great success with it. I also have some background in CrossFit, and I had some friends that at the time the paleo diet was gaining a lot of ground, especially in the CrossFit world. And I also, the other option that I was deciding was the ketogenic diet. My brother had a pretty good experience with it, and he was sharing all of his amazing benefits and everything. And so that's kind of basically what it came down to, was those three diets that I was deciding between: the Whole30, the paleo, and the ketogenic. After doing some research, the paleo diet really appealed to me just because it has that more natural background, everything that comes from nature. You know, that all the sweeteners are like agave, honey, you know, that kind of thing, natural sweeteners that naturally occur in nature. So that's one of the reasons why paleo really appealed to me. The Whole30 diet really appealed to me because it has no artificial preservatives, no artificial anything. It's all natural. But one of the deterrents for me about the Whole30 was the idea that I would have to prepare and prep and make everything. And at the time, I was exhausted, still not sleeping well. So that sounded to me like too much work. And then the last was the ketogenic diet. And after I started doing a little bit of research about it, one of the big success claims that come with the keto diet is that people can lose a lot of weight in a short amount of time. And I thought to myself, who doesn't want the quick and easy? Where do I sign up? And so ultimately, that is why I chose to do the ketogenic diet, was to hopefully lose a lot of weight in a short amount of time for minimal effort. So I went ahead and I started researching to figure out what things I could eat, what things I couldn't. And I have to say, like at first initially, it was a little bit overwhelming because there's a lot of information out there. And just like with any diet, there's a whole variation of ways that you can do it and still see success. Like I can remember years and years ago when I did Weight Watchers, at the end of the day, I'd have 4 points left. And I could either eat a 4-point brownie or a 4-point banana. What do you think I was gonna eat? I was gonna eat the brownie, right? So, you know, there's all kinds of variation and how strict you wanna be with keto. I will say this though, if you're not getting your carbs down low enough, then you're not going to see success with it. So that is my one caution, or my one disclaimer. So my approach was, because I was addicted to sugar at the time and I was eating way too many processed carbs, and I knew that I had that addiction, I worked ahead of time for a few weeks just trying to minimize the amount of sugar that I was consuming. So I kind of gradually eased into a full ketogenic diet. So I went a couple weeks where I just cut out as much of the sugar as I could. And for the times when I couldn't fight my cravings, I would give in, I'd enjoy what I was eating, and then I'd get back to it. And as time went on, it got easier and easier to get further away from sugar. So it took me about 2 weeks to kind of wean off of sugar. And then after that 2 weeks, I started the ketogenic diet and went full 100% keto. Now, at the time, like I'm still in the beginning stages, I hadn't learned a whole lot just yet. And so I basically stuck to a little box of what I knew was safe. And I mean to tell you, I'm being honest when I say this, that I literally ate meat, cream cheese, and pickles for that whole first week because I wasn't entirely sure what I could and couldn't have yet. I was still learning. But here's the thing. Once I got past that first week and I got into ketosis, I call ketosis the magic ticket, Because for me, once I experienced ketosis and felt so good, from that point on, the ketogenic diet was easy for me. I didn't struggle to stick to it. I didn't think to myself, oh, all the things that I'm missing out, because literally I felt so good that I didn't want to eat sugar. I didn't want to eat those all of those other things and knock myself out of ketosis. I felt that good. It made it easier for me to stick to the diet. So when I started off doing the ketogenic diet, I was 205 pounds, and I got down to 153 pounds. That's a 52-pound weight loss. And in 6 months' time, and I haven't updated my my blood panel or any of that stuff just here recently, but over a 6-month period of time, so from right before I started the ketogenic diet till 6 months in after starting keto, I had lowered my A1C 4%. My cholesterol panel had dropped and improved. Now that's not necessarily that doesn't mean that that's gonna happen that way for everyone. But for me, it did. My cholesterol panel improved. My hormones regulated. My cycles are now normal and consistent. So I have had great success with keto. And I can remember when I first started, there's a lot of myths and misconceptions that float around out there. And if you decide to do the ketogenic diet, chances are really, really good that you're going to come across one of those a time or two. And here's my suggestion for you. Anytime you come across a myth or a misconception about keto, or just even something that's in question to you, that creates a fear for what you're doing, my suggestion for you is to hit the research. Hit the research and find out for yourself where you feel, what you think, what you believe. And the reason that that's my encouragement to you is to not listen to the myths and misconceptions floating around out there, and to do your own research, is because, just as an example, say a friend says to you, my friend Jenny, she did this ketogenic diet and her cholesterol panel elevated, and, she didn't lose any weight and blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. If you just listen to that and you absorb that and think of keto as that being the way that keto is and works for everyone, you're missing out on so much. Because for one thing, you don't even know what that friend Jenny, what her version of keto looked like. You don't even know if she was doing it properly to even know if what's being said to you is real or truth or not. And the other thing I want to caution you guys to, and the reason I say to do your own research, is because I've even heard of people starting the ketogenic diet. They go to their doctor says, oh, your cholesterol panel is elevated, or whatever the case is, whatever might be going on. Know that, yes, doctors are qualified and educated, but they also don't always have the most updated information. And one of the studies that was done back in the early 1900s, I think it was 1958, by Ansel Keys, is the first thing that actually suggested that, or led us to believe that consuming fat is bad for the heart. Now, since then, there's been newer, more current studies, and think of all the medical advancements we've had from now and from clear back in the 1950s until now. There's a lot of things that have been identified that was wrong with that study, there was a lot of inaccuracies to be found. For one, it was called the 7 countries study. And in fact, we know that he studied more than just the 7 countries, but it was almost as if he had cherry picked the few countries that showed the data that he was wanting to portray to everyone. So, do your research, you guys. Know that information may be outdated, even if that doctor is qualified. So my suggestion to you is to hit YouTube. YouTube is an amazing resource. If you guys aren't on YouTube yet, you need to get on YouTube. There's so much information there, free, that's ready for you to use. Whether it be you want to know about a book review, whether it be that you want to work on self-improvement, whether it be that you have a reoccurring struggle in your life, hit the research. Know that that's a free resource out there, and if you're not using it, you're not utilizing it. So get with it. That's my encouragement to you. So back to ketosis. So every time I came to a misconception or a myth, that I didn't know at the time, I hit the research, and I always found contrary evidence to what what I was being told. And I'm glad that I did that, because had I not, I may have ended up like everyone else out there who would have just quit the first time someone told them that they didn't have success with it. One of the things too, I also want to share with you guys is some of the resources that I use that I felt were very beneficial, very informative. There's a channel, Dr. Eric Berg. He has a great YouTube channel. Dr. Shawn Baker, Dr. Paul Saladino, they both have YouTube channels. They are more geared towards like a carnivoristic type diet, but they still have a lot of great information in the way of nutrition and what things are good for your body and how your body works, you know, so they're definitely worth checking out. Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Nadi Ali, Thomas DeLauer, he's in the health and fitness industry. I love his videos because I feel like they explain it in layman's terms, like in a way that people can comprehend and the everyday person can comprehend and understand. Keto Connect is also another one of my favorite channels. They're just like, for me, they're just like a feel-good channel. They take a practical approach to keto for everyday normal people. So they have a really awesome channel, and they also share a lot of great recipes. So go check out those resources. I'll actually include all of their information in the comments below. And if you guys like my videos, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.